Smile and you will get whatever you want. As much as we women love to hear compliments outside of the work frame, as much as I hate to hear compliments, if the compliments refers that everything I acquired throughout my career is because the fact that I am a woman. I entered this man dominated field in a time where women were still fighting to be heard and to be respected for their intellect. And I often found myself the only woman in a room full of men, where I had to work twice and triple the efforts to prove my capabilities, to prove my worth to be in this room. But I'm happy to see that in the past couple of years, there was a surge in the hiring of women. But I'm afraid that this surge might happen sometimes for the wrong reasons. Companies should not hire women just to advertise that they have an equal number between women and men. They should not hire women to say that they are with women empowerment or for any other reasons. And for that, I have today with me my esteemed colleague to share their opinions on this valuable and critical topic. Hello, Hayley.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Hayley, we are all proud to see you as the first assigned president for the Institution of Fire Engineers. Would you like, please, to share with us your career path and how you rightfully earned this position?
Yes, I will do, Sawsan. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Hayley Burgess, and as Sawsan has pointed out, I am currently the international president for the Institution of Fire Engineers. It's a complete honour holding this position, and also being the first female president in the history of the institution from 1918. How did I get to that position? A very good question. I started out my career actually in health and safety back approximately in the mid 2000s after leaving university. And I started out actually in health and safety and fell into fire safety by accident. And I got a real interest in fire safety. I soon found out that it can be a male-dominated sector, but I think it's fair to say that has improved dramatically over the last number of years. And I think that any company now that employs women sort of as a token factor to meet their diversity responsibilities are falling out of favour within the sector. So I joined the IFE as a member to basically prove my competence in the industry. And I worked my way through to become a member grade. And I joined the register for fire risk assessor registers again to demonstrate competence to the sector. Sometimes we do find as women that we have to sort of do twice as many qualifications to prove the same level as a man. But again, we're finding that that's sort of deteriorating now. The IFA has been a wonderful institution for me to join. As I said, I've demonstrated competence. It gives people in the sector confidence in my ability. And it also provides me with great opportunities, such as being the international president for the last year. So that's my journey so far.
Thank you. This was very inspiring, Hayley.
Thank you.
Salma, you and me, we share the same background. We are both architects who fought our way through this field that is practically known as an engineering field.
Yeah.
Can you please share with us how you managed to be a working mother in a very important position at a very sensitive and esteemed governmental entity?
Thank you, Sawsan. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Engineer Salma from Dubai Civil Defense. Of course, as Sawsan told, that my bachelor is in architectural engineering, and I started my career in Dubai municipality as an urban planner. Then I thought to join civil defense, and I feel that there is something there for me. And I remember very well when I was telling my family that I'm going to join civil defense. They asked me why, what an architect or an engineer will do in civil defense. It is only for firefighting. Are you going to fight fires or? And at that time, I didn't have an answer actually. Um, and when I joined, I found a passion in firefighting engineering, and it is really supreme and noble to uh, to secure the people, to make sure that all the buildings are safe for the people as well. And my role as well, to think of the firefighters when they will engage in an accident. Are they going to be safe? Is everything is fulfilling their requirements? Did my job very well to satisfy them, or I need to do more? Because I haven't attended an actual accident, and I don't know what happens there. I hope if I can meet with a firefighter and take that experience from him, and because eventually it is a male job, and I will not act and interact with fire itself, but I need to do more. I need to enhance that part so I can feel satisfied with myself.
Thank you, Salma. I'm pretty sure you mentioned that you went and told your family that you wanted to join the civil defense. I'm pretty sure that they were very supportive, because we see you today in the civil defense and
Yeah.
in a very important position. And I'm always happy to see that some families are actually supporting their
Sure.
daughters to be in a man-dominated field, and to change the equation that says this is a job for a man and this is a job for a woman. So, and also the fact that you are a mother that is able to find some equilibrium between taking care of her home and excelling in her career is also
It is not an
appreciated.
easy job as well.
Yes.
Yeah, because I have the tuition for the kids, and as well myself, I was for a few time a student in master degrees. That's why it was really disaster for me to find a way how to manage my time. Uh, Too much responsibilities, but eventually I did it.
Yes, eventually it paid off, and
Yeah.
this is why you are with us today,
Yeah.
to tell and inspire women that are here and women that will hear you. And they heard Hayley and they will hear Cristina about how they reach where they are today. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Salma. Cristina, coming
Yeah.
to you. I know that you have a lot to say. You had put some
Yeah.
what to do and what to not to do, and how to hire. And I know from that you have a very important position where you have to convince client every day what they did wrong and what they shouldn't do and what they should do. And this is an effort when you are a woman, like we said, me, Hayley, even Salma knows that we should put twice, 3 times, 4 times the effort to convince them of the message that we are trying to deliver. So please tell us your notes.
Yeah, a little bit. It is challenging, but I never shy away from a challenge. It is more difficult being a woman, but I like to focus on solutions and look into the future. What can we do to change this? I'm a solutions-focused person, okay? So regarding the topic today, what I wanted to bring into this conversation was diversity is everywhere, right? And the title is competency versus just checking the box. I think we can all agree that just checking the box, doing it for the sake of, as a token, as you said earlier, is not right. But diversity is here, okay? Here we have a room full of leaders in our industry, and the jury's out. Diversity is something that all industries, all companies, all businesses, society as a whole, they need to get on board with, because that's where we're going, right? So again, this checking the box exercise usually comes from a high level, because the data is in that it's going to be beneficial from, as Steve was saying earlier, operational resilience, right? Innovation, attracting and retaining talent. Diversity is where the future is at. So how do we get there? For me, again, it's more about focused actions. What can we do here? And again, there's many, many different actions, but in general, as leaders, I like to focus on two things. One of them is hiring practices, okay? We all have to hire people here. Now, we need to change a little bit the approach on how we do this, or how we have historically done it, so that we can reach those goals, okay? Of having a diverse workforce, resilient workforce that will, again, benefit the whole industry. There's things like focusing on competency, right? Versus just, hey, checking the box exercise. There's something called blind hiring, where, for example, in Europe, that's now the standard. You don't mention your gender, your age, your anything on a CV. Is, hey, what is your experience? Where is your education? What can you achieve? What have been, your achievements throughout your career? And you focus on those. Is that competence-based? Okay? Again, that's a European thing, but we can take those practices and implement them into our day-to-day operations, businesses, everything, right? So in general, in the hiring processes, there's also educational for unconscious biases. They are part of it. Just understand what they are. They're not wrong. We're not looking for someone to blame us. Hey, we need to get out of the cycle. Let's actively do things to get out of it, okay? Tracking, taking data. I'm a data person. Track, analyze the data. Hey, why are we having issues getting where we want to be? And then detect trends and take actions accordingly, right? So usually leaders, they usually have to do this together with HR. But again, because HR does have that mandate coming from usually higher level, it's about working together to say, okay, how can I achieve those goals in the right way? Everybody will agree, putting someone in a position for checking the box. Nepotism, we all agree is not good either, right? Hey, it happens, okay. But we can rise above that and stay up with the trends. If we don't, as leaders, do that, we're going to be left behind. The industry is going to move on without us. So that's one, and the other one is the culture, right? We have a lot of influence over the culture in our teams. Again, maybe not on a grand scale, but everybody here, you have teams, you have people, you have clients. That culture, we can and have the power to make sure it's an inclusive environment, that people feel safe to speak up when there's a problem, right? So yeah, I think those two areas, if we as an industry, leaders here that we are, focus on those two, we're going to get there, okay? We need to put in the work. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that takes a year. But without those efforts, we're never going to get there.
Very true, Christina. And putting somebody in a position just for the sake of checking boxes will end up with someone else actually doing the job on behalf of this person. And this is something that we see everywhere in all companies, unfortunately.
Yeah, it happens.
When I decided to do this panel, I insisted that I want a man's opinion in it. And this is why those two gentlemen agreed to give us their opinion in this matter. Duncan, I know that you have a very interesting story to tell about women in firefighting.
Yes, thank you, Sawsan. I was very fortunate that in 1997 that I was the first watch commander that had a female firefighter joining the watch. So up until that point, the whole of my fire service was totally male, other than people that females in the traditional roles as cooks and cleaners. There were no other females in the whole organization. It was an interesting journey because the principal management at the time wanted to try and orchestrate the way in which the female was integrated into the organization. So at the point that the tests were all complete and Lucy was made an offer of employment having reached the required standards, there was then a number of benchmarks in the process of going through training school for 16 weeks. And at the 8-week mark, you have a good idea of whether a recruit firefighter is going to make the grade. So I recall vividly being called into the Chief Fire Officer's office and said, "We need to manage this very carefully. It could go all wrong." I said, "There's no going wrong. There's no need to manage it carefully. We treat it no differently than we would a firefighter. Oh no, we want this to be orchestrated. We want to ensure that we put this across all the newspapers." And so we sat down and had an interesting debate, and it was a well-known fact that myself and the Chief Fire Officer didn't agree on many things. Well, we probably didn't agree on anything, but that's another story. But so it took a lot of pushbacks to say, we need to manage this in a way that we would manage any recruit firefighter. And so at week 8, I was given the information that Lucy was really flying colours, was really pushing on. And so that was the time that I introduced the fact that my watch of 16 was going to be soon to be 15 males and 1 female. And there was a need for the discussions and to make the way for that to happen. Out of all the 16 of us, there were no issues bar 2 more mature firefighters that were reaching the end of their career, who both came to see me independently and said, "We are worried what our wives are going to think. We are worried about what our wives are going to think about that when we go to sleep at night at the fire station, that we're sleeping in a bed close to a woman." And I said, "Have you spoken to your wives yet about this issue?" And they said, "No." I said, "Well, you do me a favor. You go home tonight and discuss this with your wives and then come back to me tomorrow," and what they said. And the response from both of them was that their wives had no issues with it whatsoever. It was something that was being perceived. And the beauty, I had 4 fantastic years of working alongside Lucy. She was the first of a lot more that came in afterwards. She brought a balanced approach to what was 16 hairy firefighters, male firefighters. And that whole approach and having that female interaction and that female point of view made it a pleasure to work with those guys. And Lucy and I are still great friends, and I'm pleased to say that the organization that I was in are now seeing female firefighters that are rising up through the ranks into senior positions. So it's getting across to people that things don't need managing. It's all about common sense. A lot of it is pushed out of all proportion. Yeah, it was a great experience.
Thank you, Duncan, for this story with many valuable lessons. First of all, that men should always go speak the truth to their wife so they can live happily ever after. If you lie, then there will be trouble. Only then. Terry, I have no idea what you will share with us today, but I am pretty sure that your opinion will be very insightful to everybody who's sitting now in this room.
Okay, I'm Terry Johnson. I'm very new to this sector.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the things that I've learned working in this region is that we love to disrupt and challenge everything. And I think evidence today shows a true image of that, disruptive challenge. And what the women in the fire and life safety sector does is introduce contrasting, fresh ideas. It's absolutely amazing the way that they're going forward. And what you're seeing here is a great encouragement for other women and the younger element of the women to see the pioneers here and take on, grasp this magnificent sector that we're in and put all their amazing talents into it, because it needs it. We us old boys club, you know, we need to be refreshed. We need new ideas. We need to be challenging everything that's going on. So I congratulate them, and I'm absolutely proud to be sat here. I never thought I'd be doing it, but I take my hat off to you, really. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. I'm sorry we pulled you into this panel, but we are all happy for your continuous encouragement and for your support. Let me end this panel by saying that both men and women should work in harmony. Women should not have to choose between being married or having a job, between building a home or building a career, between taking care of her looks or taking care of her knowledge. Women can be anything or can choose to have everything if they want. But this is only possible with the support of men, with the understanding of men, with the appreciation of men. We should all work together to make this world a better place, and we should all have the same chances in the hiring process, and no one should be hired for ticking boxes, for their birthright, or for advertising for diversity, or for any other reason. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I just wanted to share my experience, if you don't mind, just
Yes,
for 1 minute.
of course.
You ladies are in very senior positions, which is amazing. We recently took on a contract for many thousands of villas in the UAE, okay, directly for the UAE government, to install fire alarm systems in those villas. And we realized that it would be difficult for male technicians and engineers to enter Emirati homes, perhaps if the husband or there wasn't a man in the house at the time. So we specifically hired some lady technicians and engineers for this installation contract. And you say here, hiring for competence, not for diversity. We hired for diversity, but it was for a specific reason. But actually, our experience is that the ladies in our installation team do a better job than the male technicians in a lot of cases. Okay, and they are obviously friendly, polite, welcomed into the homes. They're neat, tidy, do all the documentation fantastically. And I would have absolutely no hesitation in hiring lady technicians and engineers completely on a par with an open recruitment spot for our organization. So I just wanted to share my experience because it's very positive, and it's been great for us. Yeah.
It is, and it teaches us also a new lesson that you accidentally discovered that a woman could do a man's job and could also excel in it, because this job was labeled for men only. Thank you for sharing this insightful story.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to congratulate everyone that's on this panel. That was a great subject, a very important subject, close to all our hearts, and one that we will see more of going forward, I hope. So thank you, Sawsan, and thank you, panel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.